Welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. Today we have a little bit of a different video in store for you guys. Today I'm going to do a review on my second gen Dodge. This truck was owned by my great grandpa. He bought it just a couple years old, and when I got it, it just had 98,000 miles on it. It currently has 105,000 miles on it. But anyways, guys, I'm going to tell you the good about this truck and the bad about it and what you should know if you're going to buy a second gen Dodge. Let's get into it. I'm going to start by saying these trucks, I like the look of the second gen Dodge. I think the body lines are very unique and specific to Dodge. As you can see, you have the fender, then you have the rounded hood instead of just the flat hood like most cars or trucks had. So I really like the look of it. This one came with a factory visor with cab lights. Like that quite a bit. The tint, if you were wondering, that is 20% tint. This one's fairly clean. Most of them that you'll get are going to be rusted out. The rockers will be gone, fender wells will be gone, and they're just terrible. So if you were to buy a second gen Dodge, I'd say do not drive it in the snow, as it'll be a rust bucket. This truck has the 5.9 Magnum. We'll get into the more details on that. Let's hop in this truck, take a little ride, and we'll talk about how it handles and some other details about this thing. Handling wise, guys, for these second gen Dodges, they do all right. Like going down the highway, this thing rides great. But after time, especially if you're putting oversized wheels and tires like a lot of guys do, you're gonna go through so much front end parts, it's ridiculous. If you do oversized wheels and tires, you might as well just replace your ball joints every 2 months because they're gonna be shot. But these things aren't too bad. Like I said, they do just fine. The steering's a little sloppy in these things. I do a lot of hauling of mine, these things with trailers. They do great. The 5.9 Magnum, it's a great motor. I think they're like 245 horsepower or something like that, but they run pretty good. It pulls a trailer really well. I've hauled the 80 Subaru that's on the channel. I've hauled that, and also my boat, and it seems to do just fine. The stock headlights on these things, people complain about them a lot. You can't see them right now, but people say they're not the best. There is a lot of aftermarket parts you can put on these trucks. What else is there? Fuel economy. Don't get you a second gen Dodge if you want to get a gas getter, because these are not the thing to get for sure. I think I'm averaging around 12 to 13 miles a gallon, which I'm really used to it. My Jeep does around the same, and I'd rather drive a second gen Dodge than drive a Honda Accord. As you guys know, the dashes are always cracked, as you can see on mine there. Mine's a lot better than other guys. That's a huge con of these trucks. Usually these dashes are so caved in. The interior, Dodge decided not to spend any money on that part. I mean, they're just cheap, fragile. The slide out cup holders here, mine works here, but they are not the best. You can't put exhaust on these trucks, and they do sound decent. I got turn downs right after the rear end here. All it is an knockoff Flowmaster. Sounds decent though. A lot of times these bumpers will rust. I don't know if this is factory or not, but this particular truck has rhino lining. I haul a lot of stuff in this bed. It seems to hold up really well. Really like that. Tires you can run 265 775 16s. You can fit probably a 33-inch tire on these Dodges stock. These things have huge fender wells. Shut this thing off here. Like I said, the interior was made cheaply in these Dodges. These cup holders, mine's starting to mess up. Yeah, it's actually messing up real bad. But poor design. You can't keep a drink in there to save your life. I don't know why they designed it that way. That's actually getting really bad. That used to work well, but she's getting worn out like all the other Dodges. You got these bench seats, these things, they fold up, but they seem, once you get them up, they like to get stuck. Not for sure why. So you got to play with it like crazy. Headliner, this one's been replaced, but they always droop in these trucks. It's terrible in all the corners, but like I said, this one has been replaced. Dashes, terrible. That's the worst part about these things. Let's check out under the hood. And for a single cab truck, this one actually has a lot of storage. I have a lot of junk back here, but they have these cubbies and a net. That's really nice. I like that part about them. Like I said, 5'9", 360 for you guys. Once you get one, to open these, it took me a second. You just push up and it pulls the hood up. She's dirty, but there it is. Decent truck. I said 245 horsepower. I believe that is correct. Got a lot of room to work on these things. Parts are decently cheap, not too bad. Can come across them pretty easy. This one in particular has a factory visor with built-in cab lights, with the running boards. Don't see that too often, especially this color you don't see too often. This one has a backsliding glass right here that's massive in size. I put this toolbox in there. I liked how it was even with the bedsides instead of sticking up real high. These trucks came in different models. This one in particular is a Laramine SLT. You can also get the Sport package, which a lot of guys convert their trucks over to, because the Sport had a color matching bumper that matches your paint color, and the grille was not chrome, it was also paint matching. I particularly like the chrome with the 16-inch chrome wheels. Some other guys like the aluminum wheels. I think these look way better. One thing that I think is very important to mention, the transmissions in these things are terrible. This one here, it's just fine, but like I said, guys, this thing was owned by my great-grandpa, and he didn't run it hard at all and hardly pulled it. It was always kept in a garage. Therefore, this one's not rusted out like most of them you've seen. Can rebuild them, and I've heard that does help, but it just was a poor design by Dodge. I don't know what the issue is with them, but I just baby this truck and don't run it hard, and it seems to be doing fine. But like I said, this truck only has 105,000 miles on it, and for a 1997, very low mileage. They do make these trucks in a diesel. It came with the 12-valve Cummins, which is a great motor, inline 6. For aftermarket parts, you can get aftermarket taillights, you can get aftermarket headlights for these things, you can get fiberglass hoods, you can get aftermarket grills. You can do all kinds of things to these trucks, guys, to make them look however you want them to look. The underside of this Dodge specifically is fairly clean, but they usually are much rustier in that. This one I'm going to put away for the winter. That's the only reason I kept my Jeep, is so I don't have this thing rusting out like the others. I don't know if it's my truck specifically or not, but either the seal's leaking or the back glass is leaking, because I have water that comes down and the carpet is always getting saturated. I need to figure that out so my floorboards don't rust out in the long run. Some of these trucks did come with infinity speakers that sound decent. This one here, if you guys want to know, I do have a how-to video on how to install a backup camera and a double din stereo in your second gen Dodge. You do have to cut the dash, but there is this bezel kit you can buy that makes it almost look factory. So there is a backup camera on this truck, which is super nice. Make it a little bit more modern for 1997. If you do want to get a second gen Dodge, I would recommend not driving it in the snow, because the salt on these things, you might as well say goodbye to your rockers and your fender wells, as they'll just be rotting in the frame and everything. She's kind of beat up in spots. That's brand new. That one's been there for some reason. I don't know if it's the people at the University of Missouri where I go to school or what, but people seem to be a magnet to this truck, and our door ding hit it. A Toyota Camry drug their mirror down the entire side of my truck just this past week, which it's actually got a crease in it. It doesn't look too bad, but I didn't ask for that, which kind of sucks. This truck has been used for a truck, so she does have dings here and there, like you can see, but that's all right. It's almost a 30-year-old truck, and yeah. At the end of the day, I think the second gen Dodge is a great truck as long as you take care of them like any cars. If you put oil in them, put antifreeze in them, keep them maintained, they'll be a great dependable vehicle. Like I said, the major cons of these things is going to be the transmission. The transmissions are just bad, sadly to say, but they are. In the interior, the dash is going to crack, and it is very brittle, and it's just going to get worse, and there's no fixing it really. You can try and get ahead of it in time and just take care of it. Put up a sun visor on your windshield when it's out in the heat, or just park it in the garage. But that's the worst things about these trucks. But other than that, they are dependable. It's going to be a good truck if you just maintain it, and they'll be a great vehicle for you. Hope you guys enjoy this video. If you want to know anything more about it, leave it down in the comments below. And if you like videos like this, my dad just bought a 2017 Ram with the 5.7 Hemi. We could possibly do a little review on that video if you guys would like to see. But thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for the support. We'll get back on the Dodge Swept line here soon.